history is the information that comes and the myths told about the Lost Hall of Records. People want you to believe that the Lost Hall of Records was burned in Alexandria
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something
thousands
like
of
that.
years ago. I don't remember the exact date. Well, I do, but who's counting, right? But these records are millions of years of creation story within the Federation. And as I've told you, ladies, the human species was an extension of the Federation. Within that, uh, the Great Sphinx in Giza, a statue, an altar built to honor our Father, the Creator, a lion among multiple minis, but he was the lion. And he was very proud of his children, very proud of his children.
So that's where we get the lion in our dreams talking
Yeah.
to us.
One of the most interesting and things that lie beneath the Great Sphinx is Artemis Sagas, the Artemis Sagas, which means in Palladian, the sacred books, books. And within that records, it talks about the great queens, the great queens that were, and the great queens that to come. Azazel, Lumel, I present yourself to each other. Aziel, who was the daughter, the seventh daughter of Aphrodite. Lumel, who was the daughter of Aphrodite also. Well, now, with that said, you are sisters. She was the seventh, and you was the third.
Whoa, sis, this is just incredible.
Now,
No wonder we get along
I
so
knew
well.
it. I knew
why
it.
why was the records stored beneath the great altar built for the Father? That is written in the biblical record, Isaiah 19:19. Why was it hidden? Because, well, what's going on right now as we speak? A very bloody and deadly war. The queens would return in the end of days, and you have the truth and the messages that you brought should try to be stamped out forever. But you can't keep the truth down. And as I've told you before, I have many sayings. I'm a two-legged riddle book. And one of my
Very
sayings
nice.
is the truth will always rise to the top like fine cream. Am I that true?
Mhm.
Very true.
The temples are recorded. The greatness of the Father in the creation story was recorded. They were kept in Alexandria, where the great temple to Jah was built. But an altar, you got to remember, there's a difference between an altar and a temple. The temple is where the people could go learn and walk and be among the Father and the Mother. But an altar is where the people would go and worship Him and go and worship with Him. What a beautiful concept.
Hmm.
A creator God, visible, flesh and blood, and would sit amidst His creation. Oh, that's pretty damn powerful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Where are you guys at? Hey, there you are. The Hall of Records, some people would like to call it the Tomb of Records because it's underground. There's no tomb about it. There is 33 great chambers, 33. And in every one of these chambers sits a throne. So that makes 33 thrones, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sitting 123 feet below the altar to Jabal. The reference to the temple is known as the reference to the mother, Ev. Her name was Isis. We also know her as Anamia. Every one of you carry Jabal's blood. Every one of you came from her womb. The Mari, the queen mother. The mother ruled proudly and lovingly with the father. There was no discord, there was no hate, nothing but pure outright love. And to be among her children. You got to ask yourself, you guys are mothers.
Mm-hmm.
What if you didn't see your children for several years? You'd be a little distraught, would you not? Even if they would not even contact you.
Absolutely.
Well, do you think she's any different?
No.
No, I think she's yearning to reunite with us as much as we are
Absolutely.
with her.
Absolutely. You want to say that one more time so people can understand it?
Yeah, she is absolutely yearning to reunite with us as we are with her.
Reunite with her children.
Yeah.
I'm one of her children. Michael and Daniel's one of her children. You are too. But if we had not interceded some 70,000 plus years ago, humanity would have been destroyed, including her children. It became known as the Temple of Isis, but we know it as the altar to the gods. Isaiah 19:19 says, let us build an altar to the gods on the borderlines of Egypt and Judea. Now, I know some Bibles will say Israel. Well, Israel, again, I remind you, means people, not the country of Israel, because the land at the time was known as Judea. There was no such thing in them days as Jews or Baptists or whatever. The Church of the Golden Sacred Tsetse Fly. Just being a smartass. The daughters of Genesis, Sharday and Elana, they were all sisters. And through father's seed, they gave birth to humanity. The Veda, Aryan, Yasrael, the sacred holy people. Damn, this is fun. We should have done this sooner.
Well, it was hard to get a carrot out of you, brother.
But there are tablets sitting in the great hall of records. And every one of these tablets refer to a sacred queen. They name them, they describe them, their likes, their dislikes. No anal. And it also describes when they would return and what they would do. I have never commanded you guys to ever do anything. You are who you are. I will never command you to do anything. I've never commanded anybody to do anything. I always let them hang themselves. You guys are the cream of the crop. I chose wisely. These queens are not perfect, but their heart speaks in volume. And those that have ears, listen. For not only the queens will give you the infinite initiative, but they will give you love and knowledge beyond anything you could ever hope to achieve. Because they know, they've always known. We all go through our trials and tribulations, but we always come out stronger and more powerful than what we were when we started. Now, the records recorded talks about the creation story, who they were, where they came from, and who the birth mothers was. It is a containment of consciousness and rich ways to raise your knowledge and your understanding of not only who the queens are, but who the people are. Because their queens doesn't make them any greater than you or whoever. You're all on equal ground. This is what makes the beauty of our culture. The queens are there to help you and help others. The queens are there to assist each other queen. One way or the other, the queens have always been there. And yet, what is going on right now before our very eyes? Well,
War.
a war. Ugly word, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Well, there's always casualties in war. I don't plan on being a casualty. Do you?
No,
Do I plan you to grab a sword and stand with me and fight and slash and stab? No.
no.
It is my
No.
responsibility to protect you. And trust me, I'm not alone. We will defend you to the last man and woman. We have never lost a battle. We are not starting now. You guys were known as oracles. You was known as seers. You was known as demons or demons. You little demonic women.
Boogie, boogie, woogie, boogie.
And within your own consciousness, and I don't expect you to master this overnight because you won't. You have been lazy. You've been laxed, and it is not of your choosing. I'm just trying to help you get up to speed. But with your own characteristics, and your own consciousness, these things will come to you slowly but gradually. Absorb everything you have, everything that is given to you. Don't worry about the outside world. There's nothing to worry about the outside world because the outside world is soon to meet its fate. You shall rule with an iron scepter in the honor of who your father is. Don't worry about me. I'm expendable, though they think. It's you that it matters. It's always been about the queens because they bring forth everything that is goodness. You are strict, you are stern, you take no shit from nobody, but your hand is always outreached to help the less fortunate and give love and compassion to those who truly deserve it. The others, let me take care of them, please. Do not waste your time or your energies on them others. Many enlightenments. You guys were created at the birthing centers. For you, Lemuel, he was born in Italia. Italia. Most people know it as Atlantis. I'm going to call it the way it was originally called.
Attila?
Attila or Italia. No, not Italian. No, Italian. The damn wops get everywhere. But Was you born at there, Amazel? You live right in one of the birthing precincts. It's funny you came back and there you stood upon your land. A place in ancient time was known as Azamu. Azamu. It's funny, Australia is known as Aussie land. Why was it put down under? Why is it known today as the land down under? Yet, it was never intended to be down under. It will be moved back in due time to its original spot. How do you move a continent? You don't. You move the earth. You put the earth's rotational axis back in its original form. And then everything else takes place. Yeah, there was a deadly war. And millions of people perished. Innocent people, your brothers and sisters, perished.
Is that why we always feel a deep mourning all the time?
Mm-hmm. Do not worry about the upheaval that is coming again. They ask for this, they shall get their just reward. But there's many forces at your command. Many channels and avenues are waiting for your command. All you have to do is call upon them, and they will be at your disposal. No one will ever lay a finger on you ever again. You will not be interrupted with your teachings or your knowledge or the things you give to your followers. And I do say followers because you're going to be there to teach and help. The people will follow to you as it was intended to be a long, long time in the past. Some people might call the Hall of Records the Akasha Records. That would be a good assumption. They might be looking for the Satan. They'll be looking for eternity. They might be waiting to see the Antichrist appear. Well, the Antichrist has already appeared. He is walking among you now. They might be waiting for Lucifer to come flying out of the sky. They're going to be waiting a long time also for that. Things put in people's hearts, their mind, things that were taught that were not true. But we've got to go every Sunday and worship God. They don't even know who God is. They can't even spell his name. That says a lot for the dumb downing of people, right?
Correct.
Now, 12 queens, and I am honored to be here with 2 of them. Yet, do you think the people are going to come worship you? Do you want the people to worship you?
No. Not at all.
Spoken as a true queen. Do you think Father wants the people to worship him?
No.
And
Admiration.
He's going to tell them, and he will command them. You do not worship me. You do not worship idols. You do not worship the beast. You do not worship the queens. For I am your Father. From my seed you was created. I command you as your Father to love one another. And listen to your queens, for they bring their compassion to you. Yes, we shall go to the mountain of the Lord, for he shall teach us of his ways. And what do you think was the promised land?
The new rebuilt earth. The new Jerusalem.
Pretty good. You guys are very wise. It is a necessity that the queens learn, respect themselves, bring joy upon themselves. Because if you're happy and there's joy in your heart, others will see that joy also and they'll say, I don't know what she's taking, but I want some of it. Because when all this is said and done, it's going to be very traumatic for those. You guys are the connection to their new reality of who they are, and to them, let them know that you're loved just as great as anybody, not by us, but by all. It will be a brand new virus.
I love that virus. I can deal with that one.
I'm just gonna go grab a ladder.
I will wait for you. Oh, page 5 is very disgusting. You sure you want me to educate you on page 5?
We need everything, good, bad, and ugly.
This is going to get ugly now. This is going to get real ugly. I have the ugliness underlined.
Mm.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.
I just told your sister it's getting ready to get ugly now.
Okay.
Hence, within them days, the people were enslaved by a draconian ruler. His name was Pharaoh Adadadi. Adadadi. Very little is ever spoken about him. And yet, he portrayed a false persona. And Moses came upon him and said, my father says, let his children go. And Adadadi wouldn't do it. So Moses came back a second time and said, my father says, let my people go. Who is your father? Who is this mythical God that you talk about? Tell him, I challenge him. So with a third time, things always happen in threes, does it not?
Yes.
Moses came and said, Father says he commands you to let his children go. So, if I don't let him go, what will your father do? This mythical God. He is going to send your worst nightmare. And he will destroy all the firstborn. He will bring plagues and famine and destruction upon your land. You will not survive it. Ha, 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 ha. Really? I am the great Pharaoh of Adadi. I fear no one. So be it. And Moses left. Want to know what happened next?
Yes.
First, crocodiles came and started devouring people. And then lesions and boils started popping up on everybody's skin. This is a famine across the land. We're talking several hundred miles. And then frogs came out of the Nile River and went everywhere. And flies were everywhere. The food was dying. So was livestock. Lightning came. Floods came. And then suddenly, as quick as the lightning and the floods came, the drought came. And people perished from the sheer heat.
Wow.
And then on the 12th night, a darkness fell over the land, and screams could be heard. hacking could be heard. And a 3-year-old infant of Aphrodite was sliced into 3 pieces as a reminder. He was given 3 warnings. Now your son is gone, and you will go mad. But before you go mad, you're going to say them beautiful words that you should have said in the beginning. Your people may go. Set my people free. And he did go mad. And the people fled. They followed Moses. Did they cross the Red Sea? No. Well, then how did they get from Egypt to the Sinai Peninsula? Have you ever asked yourself that question?
Yeah.
What was your answer?
Haven't come to the conclusion unless a craft came and picked him up and took him there.
The record says Moses parted the Red Sea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Well, let's try Lake Amiyaga. Lake Amiyaga. In them days, they didn't know how big that lake was. The deepest point was about 6 foot deep, but the lake covered. Oh, hell. About 12 square miles. Big lake. Big lake. But also, it was known as the Lake of Reeds, or the Sea of Reeds. Not Red Sea, Reed Sea.
Whoa. Okay.
They were able to walk across it because when the tide in the Mediterranean, the great ocean, happened, the tide in the lake moved also. The tides generally lasted between 12 and 18 hours. The people went across there freely. Now, Pharaoh sent his army to destroy the Israelites, right? Well, they did. They went back across the sea chasing them, and the tide rolled back in and entrapped many of them, and many of them drowned, or the crocodiles came and ate them.
Whoa.
But you guys wasn't there. You was not there to witness it, because before the land turned dark, a light in the heavens showed. And all 12 of the queens vanished. The people thought they were lost, but Moses assured them this was going to happen. We couldn't take 160-something thousand people, not 600,000 wandering for 40 years in the desert. They wasn't stupid. And they didn't go south. They went to Neema, a little town on the border of the great altar to God.
Mm-hmm.
The queens will return to the mother. And with that said, many of the records that was left behind were secure. And as time progressed, the Hall of Records were there for the people to go to read about themselves, their father, their mother, and the queens. Now, this was looked upon as the great temple of Jabba, the Hall of Records. And when the war moved into Egypt, the records had to be secured. Certain items of interest had to be preserved, and they were. They were set underneath the chamber in 33 chambers and 33 thrones, along with a stargate. And it was sealed, and a warning was placed at the 2 paws. Warning: anyone who enters this hall shall never reemerge. For beyond this hall lies the truth, and beyond this hall is protected by and thunder.
By lightning and thunder.
And when the Persians sacked Jerusalem, they came after the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was not there. They killed hundreds of people, innocent people, because the Ark of the Covenant wasn't there. But the Ark of the Covenant is the geoplaza weapon. It was placedly and nicely secured under the great altar to Jabal. And there's been people that attempted to go in there. They don't make it. But you're going to like page number 8. In 1992, Dr. Robert Schoch, a geologist from the University of Oxford in the UK, said this: I'm not sure what sits underneath this great structure. I don't know who carved this great structure. All I can say is something very unique and very strange is under it. And I am sure with confidence, with my professional training, that the Egyptians did not build these massive structures that we see today and known as the pyramids of Giza. They are much older than what people realize. The Egyptianology journal, the KMT pronounced Kayamet, said, in ancient times for Egypt means the Black Land, the land of the Nubians, the land of the Cushites. Dr. Anthony West said this: the Sphinx is not wind-weathered, as most Egyptologists think, but water-weathered and by rain, and they have stood for the test of time. It is not believed that they are 10,000 to 12,000 years old. It is believed they're around 30 to 40,000 years old. Wow, I have it right here. It is not a tomb. We're not sure why they were built, but there is a massive amount of energy that emits from all 4 structures. Yeah, you're going to like this one. I hope you like it. Dr. Nathan Nalam from the University of Baghdad. Saddam Hussein was still dictator at the time, has said that these great structures are in perfect alignment with the Orion constellation. We do believe that they are unfinished pyramids, and yet we're not sure who built them, but we with confidence can say the Egyptians did not build them. For the stones are big and been carved with such precision that man's modern technology cannot even match it. As we stand back and look at these massive structures, we wonder who they were built for. And yet, the ancient hieroglyphs of Luxor says this: the most prodigious and curious souls, it be known, great honor to the gods and his children shall be revealed one day. And those in the time understand the revealing will understand that not only the father and the mother are here, so are their children. There.
Wow.
As we get to the last page, I shall show you what the structure underneath the Great Sphinx looks like. See that?
Oh, it folded.
Oh, hell, I hate that when that happens. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right here, right here. The Stargate sits. Right there in the middle is a small temple. Well, small
Wow.
structure, and the Ark of the Covenant sits right in the center of it, protecting all
So,
33 chambers and 33 thrones.
so that father's or the face of the Sphinx was at where your thumb was at the bottom of it?
That is
The the entry. Okay.
it is 24,972 square footage. It has a matrix of 39.2 meters in width. It sits 129.36 feet below the Sphinx. It gives off a high radiance and volume of 1,999 megahertz of energy. They do not know why it's got such a big energy output. We know why, for what sits in the middle. The total circumference of the vestige is 11,183 meters. In other words, it goes down and it expands out.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly engineered in alignment. In every one of the chambers, all 33 chambers, are the written recorded history of creation and the people. And your names are in there.
I get goosebumps.
My brothers and sisters' names are in there.
That's representing the 33 golden angels.
It is known as the Viscus Cygnus chambers. The Viscus Cyber chambers. It is known as the Hall of Records. And this is what it said right here. Dr. Joan Hanley of the Gaia Institute and Dr. Douglas Richards of the Meridian Institute have said that whoever built this must have been a beautiful race of people, for they left a marker for us to know and understand. Although we do not understand yet, the talk of the hieroglyphs says something beautiful will come in the coming days. We do not know when them days are, but something beautiful we await. With that said, welcome to Earth, ladies. I'm sorry.
Good to be back.
I'm sorry you have to witness all this. And that's all that's left in here. The rest of this is about the Nephilim, the giants, Luxor, space aliens kidnapped my wife and ate my dog. Oh, seriously, this shit's funny. See that?
Oh, good grief.
Oh shit.
You can't make this shit up.
I know.
Yes, space alien lover promised me the world and robbed me blind.
That's what you get for hooking up with a Draco.
See that?
Yep.
Brother Eddie, you've got so much stuff. Why did you put that garbage in there? Because it's comical.
Wow, this is just mind blowing.
And let me read you this. This is chapter 12 in my book number 3. See that?
Mm-hmm.
You see what it says, the title?
No, I gotta move it over a little bit.
Observation deck.
Observation deck.
By Dr. Audrey Fletcher. He was on the second Earth Chronicle expedition with us. This is his work. The seventh age in the people of Aquarius. What is this shit? I ain't got time for that. Entering the age of Aquarius, according to the calculations read on the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, talks about the coming seventh age of man. The winter equinox and the precession of the age of the zodiac could be the Mayan calendar as we know it, of December 12th. December 21st, 2012. 12/21/12. Wow, imagine that. It is the beginning of a new galactic alignment, a beginning of a new trinity and a triad of ages. It is the age that will dawn a new rebirth. It is possession of the ages of a zodiac that takes place at the sunrise on the 21st of December 2012, as the Mayans predicted. It was the end of the age of man's rule and the beginning of a new era for mankind. It is considered to be the process of purification by the ancient Egyptians. The Great Conjunction should occur when 4 celestial events in time coverage are synchronized, and time and so coordination will be precise. Well, let me read that one more time, if I may. The Great Conjunction of events will occur with 4 celestial events to take place. Do you know what them 4 celestial events were? You've already witnessed them 4, did you not?
Was one of them on the September 21st, 2017?
No. Think. 4 conjuncture celestial events.
You mean the blood moons?
Bingo.
What the woman clothed with the sun happened September 2017.
And
Revelation 12.
yeah.
Sissy over here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she gave birth to what? A new era.
Yeah. The
Because
man child.
constellation it came out from between her legs,
Yeah.
the zodiacal signs.
Yeah.
A birth, a new birth.
Yeah.
Pay close attention. This concerns you. The place of purification. The actuality recorded in the ancient Egyptians' Book of the Dead, which contains religious rituals and a cosmic significance. The ancient hieroglyphs resembled the rectangular base of a pyramid with an underground entrance to the hieroglyph as known as a temple. This base of the 3 horizontal rows and symbols showed 7 levels of heightened understanding and 12 what in the hell is that word? 12 creation purification rites. The water of the hieroglyphs represents the premortal ocean of Neon, and also it pertains to Neon, is known as the Milky Way. And from the hemisphere above the water will come 12 beautiful spirits to sit and rest among the sacred mound. Nayur is rising in the waters of Nayon, as the waters or the well known as the sun rising out of the waters of the Milky Way. 12 purifications are known as the 12 Sumerian queens from the god mother, which are conducted upon the decease of Pharaoh. To stand out to the left in 3 pairs of the glyphs shows the head of not only Osiris and Isis, but also mentioning of the 12 queens. The purification is also to represent that the queens are as pure can be, and the hieroglyph is meant to be read left to right. from the double glyphs, meaning the place of the queen. It is very clear the creation myth occurred in the place of purification. The creation myth was a place of purification as one and the same, known as the Garden of Eden, and the creation occurred at the place of the purification, known as the creation garden. From there, Osiris, from the creation principles, taken a step further in the relation to the purification, Osiris became the purification principle and also the principle of the procession and announcement of who the queens were. No, I'm not Osiris. I'm Abaddon. But the importance of the passageway, for example, or portal, is to emphasize it is being symbolized twice. Firstly, in the month of December, and secondly, the opening in the base of the pyramid or the temple after judgment has passed. An entrance or passageway to reverse suggests that the presence of the womb, the queens shall rest. It is considered to be the womb of the mother Dionysus or Isis. The four celestial events in time will converge at the mark of the dawn of the age of Aquarius. For these are the children of Aquarius. These are the children of the queens. These are the children that will look upon them with wonderment and love. These are translations. The hemispheric understanding below the horizon is not visible in ancient Egypt, or the Milky Way was considered to be a celestial Nile. Yet the river Nile was the earthly water to life, and the ancient Egyptians saw the waters of the Nile as the life that would flow as a source. The great ancient Egyptian civilization, the Milky Way, was their spiritual water of life, and the Milky Way represented the waters of life in which the tree of life had its roots, referring back to the simulation of the Great Conjunction, that understanding that an altar had been built to the creator gods. This is not myth of the ancient Egyptians, but an explained origin of the universe in terms of premortal oceans called Nayan. It was that flat, rather it was in the shape of a cosmic egg, and from the cosmic egg was born the primeval hill called Nayu. And on the tree of life, or the Axis Mundi, as it is written, it says that the ancient temple of Luxor, these hieroglyphs explain perfectly. I am the planet which comes from Nayu. My mother is Isis. And notice how the northern hemisphere, the sacred mound Nayu, had risen out of the waters, and yet in a perfect alignment with the Milky Way and Orion and the Pleiades, the place of the tree of life, the Axis Mundi, and in the central invisible line which joins the north and south celestial poles, around which the sky appears, it is a reflection not to the nether world of the gods, but a celestial globe and an announcement of 12 queens that would come upon the ecliptic alignment in the end of days. It is also noted that the Great Conjunction can also be viewed with precision from the latitude of 30 degrees north, a fact that brings to light another lost secret of the ancient Egyptians known as the guardians of time. The Great Pyramids of Giza, which stands on a latitude of 30 degrees north, is the perfect viewing point of the Great Conjunction of Orion, the Pleiades, Andromeda, Cygnus Kai, and Pertor, and Sahu. The Great Pyramids of Giza was built on a stellar observation deck for the Great Conjunction that would align itself on December 21st, 2012. Let us imagine how the observation platform had been erected at the top of the Great Pyramids to the announcement of queens and the returning father and mother of all creation.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Woo!
Yeah, you want to read my notes here? This was done on July 19th, 1988.
Okay.
You don't want to hear that.
You know what? Let's pause it right here and we'll do another startup recording.
Okay, you just let me know. I'm getting me a cigarette.